Hi, I am Caroline Arcapon, a registered dietitian nutritionist and a licensed physician, and this is Nutrition Support. This is a question from Bean Benny Boy B. A question for dietitians. I'm planning on going vegan and I'm not sure if we can get enough iron without eating meat. Hi, Bean Benny Boy B. So it's absolutely still possible to get enough iron even if all of your iron sources are plant-based. Your vegan sources are particularly your dark green leafy vegetables. So kale, colored spinach, those are very rich in iron. And also beans and lentils. And you will want to pair those with sources of vitamin C. So say for example, you want to cook your beans, cook them with tomato sauce. A really popular example is chana masala. And the next time that you want to make your kale smoothie, put some strawberries in there because strawberries are a really great source of vitamin C. Add Mr. Frog Cheeks. Is intermittent fasting good? This is controversial. For some, intermittent fasting works great because you're eating in a very specific window, meaning that you're not eating for 16 hours of the day and you're only eating in a time-restricted 8-hour feeding pattern. So sure, you're gonna eat less calories. That being said, some people actually get a disordered relationship with their eating habits when they do IF. So it's certainly not for everyone, but it is an option. I've actually seen some favorable health effects outside of just the weight loss. So there's been a lot of proposed health benefits. Many of them have been proven within animal studies and lab models, which is actually not the same thing as being proven in a human model, but they are very promising. Now, those benefits include increased mental sharpness, a favorable hormonal profile, weight loss, decreases of inflammation within the body, decreases of certain diseases within the body. You also have an increase in growth hormone and a decrease in insulin, and that alone will help you lose weight. Also, there is a genuine benefit to not having to eat for 16 hours of the day. Kind of gives you an advantage for you to be able to focus, exercise, perhaps do a little mindfulness session, which can go a long way to calming you down and perhaps aiding in your weight loss. However, there are some side effects when you are fasting that people do experience, like headaches, mental fog, heartburn, and we don't know the consequences of following IF diet long term. So my final take in IF is I think it is a great concept with some really promising medical research behind it. And I think that if you can skip a meal, you can skip a breakfast here and there, you're gonna see some benefits. But I don't think that one should go on this very rigid diet where you're doing the 5 and 2 or 16 and 8 in your everyday life because we don't know the long-term consequences of it. But in a society that is prone to overeating, a fasting day won't hurt, and I think it will probably even help. Question from Atlas. Is it true that tea is a cure for cancer? It's really good to drink green tea, but no, it's not gonna cure and prevent all types of cancer. The number one thing that makes green tea so good for you is that it's loaded with healthy nutrients. All of these bioactive polyphenols are awesome for your health. You may have heard some of them as flavonoids or catechins, and what those are antioxidants. So what they do is prevent free radical damage to your body, and free radical damage to your body over time causes cancer. Think of it as your faucets at home. Some of them have rust in them, right? And the rust is the direct result of that free radical damage, which antioxidants prevent from forming. It's been mentioned before that those who drink green tea have lower rates of cancer, and it's been theorized that it has something to do with a huge amount of antioxidants found within green tea. Although it is really good, again, to drink green tea, it does not cure cancer. A question from Punkan. What do you think of a low-carb diet? Carbs are very healthy and nutritious for our bodies, and they come in many different forms. The quality of carbs is very important, so you want to get the whole grain carbs and try your best to either avoid or limit the refined carbs. Refined carbs are not very helpful to your body because one, they're missing out on the fiber. They're also missing out on B vitamins, whereas whole grains such as brown rice, wheat bread, quinoa, etc. Those have good fiber, which is good for your gut, good for your heart, and they have the B vitamins, which are really good for our energy. So that's not to say that you can never have white bread or white pasta. It's totally fine to still have those foods in your diet. But you want to make sure that you're prioritizing the fiber-rich carbs in your grains. This is from Sir Rusty. What foods should we be eating to boost our immunity, especially in this time of a pandemic? What can we do to help maintain our immunity plan? Are there certain food groups that we should be definitely making sure that we have more now than ever? Are there certain foods that maybe we're not taking on that we could consider? That is such a good and relevant set of questions. Firstly, I think the key thing to say is we can't boost our immunity. We can support our immunity and we can maintain our immunity, but we can't boost it because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there at the moment, especially in the current situation. A lot of posts coming out, Instagram posts, advertisements for particular supplements that are going to boost your immunity, and that's not possible. It's just really important to highlight that that's not the case. However, we can definitely maintain our immunity, and it's a combination of lots of different things. It's not just food, although that has a massive part to play. It's also remembering sleep. Sleep is huge in terms of our immunity. We know there's loads of studies that have shown that if you get less than 8 hours a day, it has a real negative impact on your immunity. Stress, which of course is big at the moment, right? A lot of people are feeling incredibly anxious and uncertain about the situation we're in. And I know from the people I've been talking to from a work perspective, anxiety levels are incredibly high. Make sure to also load up on your carbs, particularly if you're being active, because that's when your immune system tends to be the most vulnerable. The other thing is obviously making sure that you are getting as many vitamins and minerals as you can. You also have to monitor your iron intake. A low iron level can reduce your immunity. Foods that are particularly rich and high in iron are fortified cereals, red meat, eggs, beans and pulses, turkey, green leafy vegetables, whole grains. Also, people think that they need to eat foods rich in vitamin C in mega doses because again we've been told it boosts our immunity. It doesn't boost our immunity, but what we do know is that if you increase your intake of vitamin C and zinc on day one of say some sort of cold infection, it can reduce the longevity of the infection. Now whether that is the same for COVID-19, we still have no idea. I doubt it is because it seems to be like a very different virus and affects people in very different ways. Most importantly of all, it's very important to remember to hydrate, and hydrate. And that's it. That's all of your questions. I sure enjoyed answering them and hope we can do it again sometime. And I hope you learned something.